All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. Sarah Gilson, playing on the internet, married to a lunatic. He ended up killing her, and she's probably going to end up being a Netflix series. We're going to talk about that. Ryan Clark, I didn't get a chance to talk about his firing and how he plays social justice warrior to no end. The Wisconsin police shooting, where they claimed that officers shot him for no reason. Benjamin Crump was down there at the press conference, so you know it's full of crap. And before we get to any of that, we're going to talk about all that. Before we get to all of that, we're going to talk about new updates in the Nolan Wells case, the phone call that everybody been asking me to review. I've had an opportunity to review it as much as I can. We had some contact from the family, and also TMZ did an incredible job at explaining what that really was all about. We'll get to it on the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country. All right, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back. Welcome back. Shout out to all the members. Thank y'all for being a member. Thank you for joining the membership program. If you're just starting, just go and check it out. See if it's something you're interested in. We try to do some exclusive stuff for people who are, I guess, I would say more loyal, right? It's just another step in the right direction of supporting us in a different way. But I still love all y'all the same. It's like your kids, man. You got different kids. They have different personalities, but you still love them all the same. All right, make sure y'all go and download the podcast, The Officer Tatum Show, the Substack, which is also a place where I write down some of the things that I report on visually. So if people want to look at it in a written form, I produce it every single day. At least a couple of my favorite stories that I actually talk about, I'll write about them. All right, we're over 15,000 subscribers on there. I want to get it up to a couple 100,000. So help me with that if you're interested in the written format. All right, let's get to it. I've been waiting all weekend, bugging my team. Let's get into this. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody was saying, B. Tatum, what do you think about the audio? What do you think about the audio? What do you think about this newfound audio? First and foremost, and I may have alluded to this before we went to the weekend, but when I first heard it, I turned the volume up as loud as I could, and I didn't hear none of that stuff they were saying. And then I know the context around when the call occurred, and therefore, I perceived, based on the knowledge that I have, the witness testimony, and also looking into it myself, is that the conversation that they said couldn't have happened. And it doesn't make sense that it had happened because obviously Nolan was not on the boat during this situation. And if he was on a boat during this situation and there was an altercation that happened, everybody and their mama would have seen it because they're right there at Horn Island with 100 boats and thousands of people right there. But because people have a vested interest and confirmation bias, that no matter if Jesus Christ of Nazareth came out of the sky and said, these boys had nothing to do with Nolan's death, people will reject Christ Jesus and stop believing in him. Because they're invested in believing these kids must have done something. Now, I'm not saying if they did or didn't. I'm saying the evidence is showing that they were nowhere near Nolan when his life was taken. Whether it's a drowning or whether somebody killed him, these kids were not there. How about we focused on other leads so we can figure out what happened? Because somebody may have been involved in it, and we're looking in the wrong direction. More than likely, nobody was involved in it, but we shall see. All right, let's get to the TMZ debunking the audio that was put out and people doing enhancements. We got a whole segment here. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to go methodically through each individual step. We're going to play TMZ's thing. We're going to play the enhanced audio. We're going to play the woman who enhanced the audio. And then we're going to listen to the full audio, us, so y'all can hear exactly what is being said in its entirety, full context. And I promise you, it's going to shock you that some of the things that's said on there, you got to wonder, the people that's highlighting certain moments, why did they put the rest of it in there? Why did they copy and paste these segments? You will find out here shortly. Here's the TMZ, a new update from TMZ. The young lady is reporting on it. Roll it.
Here with another development in the Nolan Wells case, TMZ has learned evidence apparently shows Nolan Wells was still on Horn Island after his friend's boat left. Sources with direct knowledge.
We already knew this. Warren and Tristan, I already said this, but y'all were, not y'all that's listening, y'all smart. I'm talking about your cousin them. They were defiant and saying these boys are lying and all this other stuff. And then now TMZ is reporting on it. Maybe you'll listen. Roll it.
Tell TMZ authorities have evidence suggesting Nolan was on the Mississippi Barrier Island after the boat departed on the 4th of July, which would mark a major development in the investigation. Ware told at least 2 witnesses interviewed by law enforcement claimed they saw Nolan on the island after the boat headed back to the mainland. TMZ also enhanced the audio from Nolan's friend's frantic call for help when their boat was sinking, and some people believe they can hear someone saying, "Is he dead?" But sources tell TMZ people on the boat who have heard the questionable audio believe the words being heard are simply panic during the chaotic moment the boat was sinking. Meanwhile, Nolan's alleged best friend, Warren Hudson, says he last saw Nolan around 3 p.m. that day, but claims he spoke with someone who said they last saw Nolan on the island around 6 p.m. Hudson also insists his group was not the last to see Nolan, saying there were still dozens of boats around Horn Island when they left. Nolan was reported missing later that night and was found dead in the water days later. His parents are now conducting their own investigation as questions continue to surround the timeline of what really happened that 4th of July. We'll keep you guys updated as we learn more.
Okay, perfect. Here's TMZ's page. I might have to read through this real quick. It says evidence appeared to show, and this is exactly what she said, Nolan Wells was still on Horn Island. Friends had confirmed it. We already confirmed it. We already interviewed Warren, and we already interviewed Tristan. They already showed me evidence of this. They already showed me video. They showed me all kinds of stuff that they have already given over to the police department. And so I told you guys, and I'm not saying I told you so or nothing like that. I'm just saying this should give credence to what I'm doing because we already shared this with you guys and TMZ just confirmed it. Can you please stop projecting things into this case that do not exist because you're not doing Nolan any favors. You're just distracting and creating chaos that should have never happened. All right, let's get to the next clip. Now, here's the enhanced audio because I want to go through, and we're going to go in through this whole thing, and we're going to debunk, provide more context, information that most people are not trying to do at all. Now, I listened to this myself, and we got the young lady who claimed to enhance the video. We're going to play her testimony on here. But this is bullcrap. It's bullcrap for 2 reasons. One is that when I listened to the audio, I didn't hear none of this stuff that you see on this thing. I didn't hear nothing of the nature. And then when you have context, you realize none of this could have been said because Nolan was still alive on the island, witnessed by more than one person after Warren them had already left. So how is they talking about Nolan dead on a boat when somebody saw him alive after they already left, after they made this phone call? Y'all got to stop playing and just be honest for a change. Roll the clip. Here, time out. I started over. I want to give you guys a chance to turn your audio up, get into a place where you can hear, freeze this, pause it, or whatever you got to do. Turn your audio up. And be honest about what you hear. And do you hear things like, can we cover it up? As if they're saying cover up a murder. Yeah, I thought about that. Maybe they're talking about the hole in the boat. What they call the bilge port or something like that? Bilge pump. So maybe they're talking about the bilge pump. Maybe they're saying to cover that up. But no, y'all got to say somebody killing somebody in Nolan Wells' death. Roll it and tell me, do you hear any of these things in the comment section that you see on this screen right here? Roll it.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut the fuck up!
Okay.
All right. Go back to that screen real quick. I want to just look at what they're saying. They're saying cover up. I heard something similar to cover up. And that they probably was saying, can we cover up this hole that's in the boat or whatever that port is? It says you killed him. I didn't hear that. He's already dead. I didn't hear that. Is he dead? I didn't hear that. Nolan yells. Or they yell Nolan. I didn't hear that. Nolan, wake up. I didn't hear that. Wake the F up. Now, we heard him cuss and say, shut the F up, right? We didn't hear no wake the F up. Where? Now, how you get that out of this video? Y'all gonna go to hell, you keep playing and lying and putting stuff out there. Come on, play the lady that did the enhancements. I wish she didn't have a UFC shirt on, but that don't mean she worked for the UFC. I hope she don't. Because this ain't a good look, in my opinion, if she has something to do with that transcript. But let me let her speak. Roll it.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did. As a professional audio engineer with experience in dialogue editing, dialogue cleanup, sound design, and post-production, I decided to work on that C-toe call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement. My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter dialogue and background audio easier to hear. So I basically used techniques such as subtractive EQ, compression, gain adjustments, noise reduction, frequency isolation, and other traditional processing methods. So what I did was I separated Vicky, the C-toe dispatcher, from Warren and the audio originating from the boat so that I can concentrate more closely on what was happening behind and around Warren, pretty much on the boat. And I specifically chose not to rely on AI because aggressive AI enhancements and voice isolation tools can sometimes introduce artifacts and distort the speech or create ambiguity around the sounds that were originally present. And for something this serious, I wanted my processing to remain as conservative as possible. You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up.
So she wrote this stuff on that screen. She wrote the stuff y'all just heard. She wrote. Now we're gonna listen to the full video. Let her finish.
During each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation. And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely, and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. You can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here. You'll also notice that my time code may not match the regular timestamp on the original uploaded video. And that's because I'm working inside a professional post-production timeline, a digital audio workstation, basically using SMPTE time code, which in film, that's displayed in hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Film and TV timelines are completely different from timestamps that you see when you're watching regular videos or when you're watching a movie and you hit pause. So basically the time code on the screen is there to identify the precise location within my working session, not to represent
I can't listen to her anymore. Keep her face up there. I want the world to see this. We're gonna listen to the full thing together, and then you're gonna hear the context around it, and then it's gonna sound super crazy that this woman thinks she heard that within the context of what we're gonna listen to. None of what she said makes any sense when you listen to the whole video and you put the context together. Why does this, and she sounds so smart. She probably did very well in school. I take it as she's being disingenuous. Why is the smartest and most brilliant amongst us putting out garbage like this? I listened to it. Y'all listen to it. Ain't nobody talking about did you kill him and all this other stuff. All right, now let's go to the real video, the audio. Let's listen to it together. It's long. It's lengthy. It's 8 minutes and 40 seconds. But if you care about the context, I want you to listen in. And we're going to play the whole thing, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards. But I want you to listen to what you've been seeing online, listen to what the young lady said about her editing strategy, and then I want you to listen to the toll dispatch, and then in context, how any of that stuff makes sense within what you hear. Roll it.
Connection.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Time out. So he's identifying that he's at the west tip of Horn Island. So he's not. They're not off in the sea in the Gulf of America. They're not a distance from the island. He's on the island in a boat in front of everybody. That's the context here. I'm on the west part of Horn Island. He's finna give GPS coordinates here in a minute, but this context is taking place right on the island in front of everybody. Roll it.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey,
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't
All
have the
right.
tag on
Unless you
here.
have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
Time out. So I just want you to put it in perspective. Like at this point, with all the stuff that you've heard, does this sound like it's a cover up? Like this is made a fake call in order to cover up the fact they killed Nolan, or that they have killed Nolan right here during this call, in front of everybody? Roll it.
If not, I can send you a text message.
North. All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm available.
North 30 degrees by 46.72.
All right. 4672. All right. And you were breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat it one more time to make sure I have it correct?
Sorry, look.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what?
So you're breaking up. If you need assistance, do you have a VHF radio?
No, we do not have the VHF radio.
All right. Well, let's try to get you going because you don't have good cell phone reception. Can you verify
Time out.
your coordinates?
Have you noticed she said you don't have good cell phone reception? And this is one of the reasons why Nolan didn't have his phone on him and why most people didn't have their phone on them, because if you don't have good cell phone reception, you're not uploading nothing on Snapchat and Instagram, and with 1,000 people out there, your reception definitely ain't gonna be good. So this would make sense why Nolan and others left their phone on the boat and they weren't in the water with their phones. No reception anyway, even if you had your phone on you. So why would a person have their phone on them in chest deep water with no reception or limited, weak reception? Okay, roll it.
One more time.
Okay, my coordinates are 30 degrees by 14.684 north, and then west by 88 degrees by 46.79.
All right, looks like you're on Horn Island, correct? Are you
Yes,
on
we are
Horn
at Horn
Island?
Island. Yes.
All right, is the boat sinking or you have it aground?
We were sinking, yes.
Is it aground is the question?
No, we're not aground. We are in
Okay.
17 foot of water. We're in 31 foot of water.
All right, have to ask. Where do you,
All right,
and what
pause.
do you,
The coordinates has them on Horn Island. They were just, because I was there, and it looks like the first, I don't know, 70 feet from the island, maybe 100 feet from the island is you can walk in it. But then there's a drop. If you go out enough, you could drop straight in the water. And so they're just maybe a boat or two length outside of actually being on the island. They gave the coordinates. The dispatcher said, are you actually on the island, like physically? That's how close they were to Horn Island. She thought they were physically on the island. So that means that all of this is going on literally in front of everybody. And we got a picture real quick. Can we put that picture up? Remember that picture of that we had on the Substack of the boat? Let's keep playing the tow. We'll play the tow until we're ready for the photo.
want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
All right, where would you like it towed to, sir?
You can tow it to Ocean Springs Harbor, or Fort Bayou Launch.
All right, how many adults and children on board?
No,
All right,
there's no
pause.
children.
All right, let's put that image up here so you guys can kind of see. This is, if you notice, they're literally almost on the thing, and here's them getting towed out. That's everybody and their mama can see what's going on in that boat. If there was a fight, an altercation, a dead black man on that boat while they're getting towed on this strap right here, everybody can see them. The people that's at Horn Island, the people driving to Horn Island, like, I think it's helpful when you see it with your own eyes. They're literally right out there in front of everybody. All right, continue the clip.
How many adults and children on board?
No, there's no children.
So, is there anybody on board? How many adults, sir? That was the question. Hello, can you hear me?
Try to jump in and pull the plug while you're going.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yep, I just need you to answer these questions so I can get you over to the captain.
Okay.
How many
what's
adults
going
on board?
There's 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
right.
here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question. Is there a person? Is there a person, a living individual on the boat?
Hello?
Is there a living person, someone breathing on the boat? Is there anybody on the boat?
Yes, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right, how many people, sir?
Like 7.
All right, thank you.
All right, pause. I don't mean to laugh, man. I can just imagine these boys drunk out their mind trying to make this phone call. And that's the only thing, she says anybody breathing on the boat. You're like, a bunch of people are breathing on the boat. Anyway, I just so y'all know, y'all like think I'm insensitive about it. I'm just thinking when I was in college and I was hammered and I'm trying to make a dispatch call with this phone going in and out and chaos going on. I could imagine these boys in a full, like, spaz mode. Finish the clip.
Does everyone have life jackets on or available to them?
Yes, we have life jackets available.
All right. Verify what boat's sinking.
A Triton, 22-foot offshore, 22-foot Triton offshore sea flight hull.
All right. All right. Please hold. I'm transferring you to the local captain now.
Okay, thank you.
Pause. Now, with listening to this so far, does this sound like people are calling the sea tow while killing their friend or having a dead friend on board or in a panic to leave the island because they've killed somebody? This sound like some drunk kids that boat is sinking They're trying to communicate with Cito. And they've gotten all the way to this point and accepted. They've given coordinates. They told what boat they're on. They told where they're at. They've given how many people on the boat. All of the above. They've cooperated to this point. Just using common sense. Do you think if they killed somebody that they will be given GPS coordinates and all kind of other stuff? It continues. 3 more minutes and we'll be done. Roll it.
This is Captain Seth.
Hi, Captain Seth. This is Vicky from International. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good. I apologize ahead of time. I really do. You're going to have a fee-for-service come up under...
Okay.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. He's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And he's saying the boat is sinking, and he's on Horn Island. It's just unfortunate. He's just a kid. There's a lot going on. So
Right.
he said there's about a lot of people on board. He says he thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Do you know what kind of boat it is?
He said a Triton 24-footer, but that's all he can give me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just actually got off the phone with his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat. And he said,
Okay.
I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, he'll call me back. So
Oh, right.
I'm guessing that they may have figured it out, because that's what he said. So they're in a panic and their boat won't crank.
Yeah, they're in a panic. He's saying the bilge is not keeping up. I asked for Coast Guard. He said no, but he's just really upset on the back end. And, I get it. It's a kid. He just doesn't understand.
Oh, okay. Do you still have him on the line?
Yes, I still have him on the line. And, again, I couldn't find he couldn't give me anything regarding his grandfather's, membership, so it's just under fee-for-service.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just talked to, if you want to, we're so tied up right now. We can't really do any non-member jobs right now.
Is he a member? Did you find out if he was a member or not?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's his boat or what. I'm not sure what's going on with it. But yeah, transfer the kid over. I'll talk to him, and then I'll call his grandpa back as well.
All right. And did you want me to look up membership number or anything like that to see if he's up? I know you guys are
You can
swamped.
try this cell phone number.
Yes, sir.
Pause. As you can see, if you're sinking, this process is not quick, right? He already said that they're busy and all this other stuff, and his grandpa probably knew. I'm just assuming, using logic and common sense, grandpa probably knew that if y'all sinking now, you got to make a decision now. You can't wait for them to Cito to come out because the boat going to be underwater. And obviously, we showed y'all that picture, and this is them getting towed by somebody else instead of getting Cito. So they're getting towed. So nobody can say that they made this up and they lied. We got pictures of them actually getting towed off the island. All right, we got 50 seconds left. Roll it.
Anything on this phone number?
All right. Yep. Yeah, he's an active member. Hold on.
What kind of boat do you have on there? Same boat?
Yeah, he's one of your members. Yep, 22-foot Triton. All right. I'll just disregard this one. I'm gonna send you over an accurate one under this one. Okay. He's one of your members. You'll get in a couple minutes. Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right. And, yeah, just transfer this kid over whenever you get a chance.
All right. Transfer him now. Thank you again, Captain.
All righty.
Stay safe out there. It's crazy. Have a drink.
Oh, it's wild. All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Okay, and I think that's the end of the clip. So now you've had a chance to watch it in context, and so when you see that little part where you hear these background noises and voices and you think they're trying to cover up a murder of somebody, the context gives you the reasonableness to say it does appear that they're sinking. It does appear that they're making a concerted effort to fix things and to get the tow, and they're talking to grandpa, and they're communicating with multiple people. It doesn't seem to be some cover up. It doesn't seem to be something afoot or something untoward when you put two and two together. All right, now here's a couple clips of people just lying. They just out here lying, bro. If you see this video going around, I'm going to debunk it. I'm going to play it. It's 58 seconds, and then I'm going to play it straight through and shut my mouth. And then I'm going to go through and debunk the living daylights out of it. But I want you guys to understand that this is what we're up against. People can't just be honest and say, I heard the family side and Benjamin Crump. I heard the boys' side. Let me try to figure out what I believe. They got to lie. They have to lie about this situation. Watch this clip and I'm going to debunk it. Roll it.
Watch worn by the white man claiming to be Nolan Wells' friend during an interview. No wonder he was the only one willing to speak among the group. Few realize it was all orchestrated. After Nolan's tragic drowning, attention turned to the young white men on the boat. While others stayed silent, Warren, claiming to be Nolan's best friend, gave an interview. But three details raise serious doubts. First, Warren's watch actually had a recording device. He wore it to capture real-time feedback from the interview. Since his mother is a senior judge, the interview was essentially a legal rehearsal. She had prepped him, and the recording allowed them to review and adjust strategies behind the scenes, building a solid defense case for any future legal proceedings. Second, when describing the death of his lifelong best friend, Warren showed remarkable coldness. His voice had no emotion, no trace of grief. An even bigger red flag came when asked, why didn't Nolan's mother know you at all before this? His excuse, we'd just never been to Nolan's house before. That explanation makes no sense for someone claiming to have grown up together and only revealed his guilt. Most bafflingly, if a person insists they're innocent and loved their deceased friend, they'd typically attend the funeral. Yet Warren ultimately refused to go to Nolan's funeral. If he truly had nothing to hide, why couldn't he face Nolan's family? Why couldn't he stand before his friend's casket? This determined avoidance shows his inner fear and inability to face the truth. Is this really because he has a clear conscience?
All right, man. Let's go point by point. The first thing is this watch. First of all, I was there, right? We all in the room with him, right? The boy got a regular watch on. He ain't had no digital watch, and we all sitting in the room together. His mama, his stepmother, wasn't in the room. She wasn't in the room. She did not hear this interview. And so for somebody to perceive that his stepmother somehow was coaching him or something like that, she wasn't in the interview. She wasn't in the room during the interview. She wasn't talking to him during the interview. She didn't interject at any point during the interview. She had nothing to do with the interview. And all our staff was in the room. We all, because we got to do the lights and all this other stuff, and we were all in the room. His lawyer was there. And, it didn't, it was better for him to be there so he can monitor, because that's their decision. That was a part of the agreement to interview, is that his lawyer could be there and watch the interview and be there to support him in case he needed him for whatever reason. That was it. The watch being some electronic recording device, this is the watch he had on right here. This is the watch I remember seeing, or it's similar to this. I don't remember all the details. But then we asked him what was the name of the watch, and this is what it is. If you compare this watch to the watch he had on the camera, it looks like this. It wasn't a digital watch. Okay. The next thing up was, I forget what the other context was. It was that. It was the only reason he came out because it was coordinated with his stepmom, which was not true. They claimed that he was the only one spoke, not the other boys. And the reason why the other boys did not speak, because y'all nut jobs are out here. They talked to me, but they didn't want to do it on camera. At the advice of attorneys and other people, they didn't want to do it on the camera. And I know why. Because y'all fools making videos like this. And they don't want to get on camera and say something, and then y'all didn't twist it up and say they did something, they killed somebody, and they did this because they say one thing that may be in an honest moment, and then y'all didn't twist it up and put it somewhere that it don't belong. And it's not legal because they've already given testimony to police. It's because they can't have their reputation being tarnished. Now, hopefully in the future, I can get them to talk on an interview, but I already talked to them. We just didn't do a physical interview. Then the next thing is, I think they're talking about Warren not being his friend because he hadn't gone over his house. And most of y'all who are honest about it, there's a couple of my friends who I'm really good friends with that I didn't go over their house. Why? Because their house wasn't a place that people went over to have fun. Their mom and them never was there, so we couldn't go in the house when their mama wasn't there. And then everybody else had video games and that stuff at their house. And my other friend had a basketball court at his house. I had never met my friend Brandon Gardner's parents in my life. And I consider him to be a really good friend. We used to go over his house all the time. And then we just played basketball in the back. Now, my friend Nick, I stayed the night over his house once, but my daddy and them knew Nick. They came to my birthday party and stuff like this. I'm trying to think of some other people that I may have been really good friends with that I didn't go over their house. You don't always, I don't know how people live. You don't always go over your friends' houses. A lot of my friends never came to my house except my birthday party. Because my house it's only a few people who come and play video games. It wasn't a spot. My daddy wasn't playing. You in there cussing and, making it dirty in there. Everybody got cleaned up. No. I had a couple times, my friend came to my house and I got a whooping. So I didn't want my friend to come to my house and get a whooping. I didn't put them dishes in the sink. My dad came home and said, you didn't put the dishes in there, the dishwasher like you're supposed to. He had the belt in his hand. He said, Nick, y'all got to go home. I got to whoop it. So anyway, here's another complete lie from this black lady. And this is why the disingenuous nature of people of the melanin, not all, but a lot of them, is just so disheartening. The one who edited the video that tried to act like she heard somebody talking about killing Nolan Wells. And then this girl right here lying on Tristan. Roll the clip.
They've tokenized this boy.
Tokenized.
And he's lying. If you watched the interview and you think he's lying, leave me a comment.
Tell me how he's lying.
I'd love to hear what you all think. Everything about this boy's posture gives I'm telling lies. There's one specific thing that he did during this interview that it had me stuck.
But Nolan was my best friend. That was a guy I knew I could call at any point in time. He called me at 11 o'clock on the 4th to see where I was parked at. Man, where I was parked at. Man.
Did you hear that gulp that he did after he said that? And specifically at exactly 11 o'clock. That is training. The arms being crossed the entire interview says it all. He's uncomfortable. His mama didn't know you, boy. Calling his mother a liar? Why would she lie about Nolan being your best friend? As a mother, I wouldn't do that.
Oh yeah, that's why we're concerned that she's done that. He's not only said he was Nolan's best friend, he showed us pictures and videos. I think they were at prom together. He said, I spent a night over Nolan's house. I left my car over Nolan's house multiple times. He gave a thorough explanation. And it was kind of cold in there, which could be why he was holding his arms. He just got off work. The kid had dirt all over him. And me and him had talked, because we didn't know if he wanted to interview or not, or we were going to interview him or not, but he had came to the house where we interviewed, and he had told us all kinds of stuff before the actual interview. And we didn't know if we were going to interview him or not. So he was a very confident young man. And all the guys can attest to that. He was very confident. But you got to think, man, you don't do this for a living like I do, and you're on an interview not knowing that whatever you say is going to be blasted all over the internet. And, it's not that easy. And so him looking uncomfortable is normal. I wouldn't expect him to be sitting there. I think it'd be weird if they were in there just going in on the first interview that they've ever done on this topic. So, and no legal representation. I don't think Tristan didn't have a lawyer. Did he? He didn't have a lawyer. They're not represented by the same lawyer. He didn't even have a lawyer when he was talking to me. So, but anyway. All right, let's get this other bull dagger on here. Put her on that screen. Roll it.
I think it's very clear that enough is enough. There needs to be real things done. I've never seen a case like this. Very clear cut that there's just something off. To a black mama that is grieving a son, to a father that is grieving a son, to a community that knows this too often, to a community that fears this for every child. Mama Wells, this is for you too. Your son will not be forgotten. We will continue to speak his name until justice is served. This is us doing our part for you.
It's the ignorance of the melanated people that bother me more than anything. How we get tricked on this stuff, almost every scenario that happens, we the ones get tricked. Like white people experience injustice too. White people get killed, they come up missing, the investigation was bad, and they not out here doing this. They're not at a game saying, I want justice for Timothy. You don't hardly see them doing that. It seems as if, more than likely, in these situations, that white people wait until the evidence come out and then they make their comments. Melanated people just jump right in the lies. Except if it's a black person. Then they have every excuse in the world why he was getting his life together and he didn't even do nothing. He was getting his kids back. He was getting on track. He had just got a new job. He thugging his mind. He thugging out of his mind. Killing people. Rap sheet. This the next story we're going to talk about. Corey. Rap sheet out of control. Mama and them ain't talked to him. He been homeless. George Floyd family. George Floyd snorting crack and all kind of stuff. Smoking crack. Doing meth and people ain't talked to him until he die and they show up on a podium crying because they know that money coming. Come on. All right, here's another fake clip. I just want to show it real quick. This is from Nick said what island this is from. Roll the clip. So they get in this little fight where guys are fighting on the beach and all this other stuff. Clearly, this is not Nolan. He's not wearing the same clothes as Nolan. Nobody's really saying this is Nolan that of any importance. The family is not saying it's Nolan or none of that stuff. This is clearly a fight that's a little fight club or something that they do on some island somewhere. Nick had the name of it. What's the name of this island so I can get it correct? Nick had the name of it. We'll get it here in a second. Rosemary Beach. That they do these little fights there. This was not Nolan. They lied. All right, Benjamin Crump. And then we got to get some more stories. We haven't spent a whole hour on this. Benjamin Crump lied. This wasn't his exact post, but this was his exact text in his post that he since deleted. Remember y'all was talking about, look at that boat and put on that boat and Brandon, what you got to say about that? He made all this up. I knew it was stupid when the person posted it. Somebody looked this up for me. The actual person who was added on there was where he got it from, which I saw. They only had like 6 posts on their page. Let's see if it's still up on their page, even though attorney Benjamin Crump deleted it. Okay, we're going to look for it real quick. Benjamin Crump, I'm going to read this real quick. This is what Benjamin Crump posted, and they look like they screen posted it because I saw this with my own eyes, and then he deleted it. It says Nolan Wells cradling the girl on his lap last time I saw him. Now, this was a reference from Warren in my interview. And they're trying to say Warren was talking about Nolan and the cradling the girl in his lap and trying to say that it's on this boat that Warren saw it. If you watch the interview, Warren was saying that he was cradling the girl while they were in the water. He was kind of holding her up and, you know, he feeling the girl. They in their thing. That's what Warren said on the interview, if you listen. Why would Benjamin Crump lie and try to act as if Warren was saying on a boat he saw Nolan cradling this girl? And the CETO thing says 7 living, breathing people on the boat. When you listen to the CETO thing that we just heard, he said he think about 7 people. He didn't say specifically there were 7 people on the boat. He said he think it's about 7. And clearly Nolan is not on this boat. So if he says 7, Nolan wouldn't be on the boat like they claim that it's pictured here. These are lies. And then this is what Benjamin Crump said. Looks like Nolan with the girl on Wyatt's boat, on his lap, not on the island, and 7 people on the boat. Now, Benjamin Crump's sorry, ashy elbows, they would have responded to us like a rational person would. We would have been able to say, hey, look, bruh, let us give you more information so you don't get out here and lie to the public again. Here's the little boat picture that they stole it from and tried to put some enhancements and stuff on it. This is them getting towed out. You don't see a black kid on this boat nowhere. This is a picture of them getting towed out. Nolan is not on the boat. They know this, but they push the lies anyway. And my team is saying it looked like the original post was deleted as well. Why y'all deleting stuff and all this if you telling the truth? What they're doing is that after I did the interview with Warren, their stories begin to crumble in front of them, so they have to make up lies and claim they got some doctored audio or whatever, some audio where they presuming that people are talking about all kind of crazy stuff when that's not true. Warren said it wasn't true. Trayston said it wasn't true. Now TMZ proved that it wasn't true because they had verified sources say they seen Nolan on the boat after Warren left. All right, let's get to some more topics. Here's the biggest topic that people wanted me to talk about as well, and this is the shooting in Madison, Wisconsin of a lunatic. Put him on the screen. Before we started, I want to give y'all a rundown of his rap sheet. He got a rap sheet like Lil Wayne wrote this. Y'all don't get it. Lil Wayne is a rapper. Okay, let's look at some of this stuff. Let's go here. Now let's start from the top. Corey Darrell Ruiz, 38-year-old man, was fatally shot by Madison police on July the 22nd, 2026, after police say he produced a fixed blade knife during a struggle, injuring an officer and continuing to resist after taser was deployed. We're going to talk about the use of force continuum here in a minute and why I think that they use the use of force continuum according to the textbook. Based on Wisconsin Circuit Court access records reviewed by Wisconsin Right Now, Ruiz had at least 22 reported criminal convictions dating back to 2007. 22 convictions. Not arrest, convictions. You know how much crime you have to do? If you got a conviction every month, you almost got a conviction every month for 2 years. Let's go through his charges. I want to start in 2007 and watch his criminal spree go up from there. In 2007, misdemeanor disorderly conduct. This conviction breakdown came from a review of Wisconsin CCAP records. 2009, 2 felony strangulation or suffocation convictions. Felony robbery with the use of force. I wonder who he strangled. Probably a black person, and they don't care about that person. 2013, 2 misdemeanor theft convictions. 2014, felony cocaine possession, felony marijuana possession, misdemeanor theft, felony bail jumping, misdemeanor battery. Still ain't doing no real time. Because 6 years later, he's in it again. 2020, 2 misdemeanor disorderly conduct convictions, felony bail jumping, misdemeanor taking or operating a motor vehicle without the owner's consent, which is stealing somebody's car. 2021, a year later. These are convictions, y'all. This not arrest, it's convictions. Just 1 year later, felony resisting an officer causing substantial bodily harm or soft tissue injury, felony battery or threat against a judge, prosecutor, or law enforcement officer, misdemeanor operating or taking motor vehicle without owner's consent. Still doing the same crime. A few years later, 2024, misdemeanor retail theft, misdemeanor resisting an officer, a second misdemeanor conviction for resisting an officer, misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia, a charge of battery or threatening a judge, prosecutor, or law enforcement officer was dismissed in one of these cases. From 2007 to 2024, 22 arrests. Let's go on because it continues down here. Additional criminal justice history. AP's independent review found that Ruiz had reportedly been jailed on cases involving failure to pay child support. He deserved to get shot for that. Now, let me stop. Failure to pay child support for that kid that's in this press conference that you're going to see that's crying, taking or driving vehicles without consent, bail jumping, threatening authorities, drug paraphernalia, resisting an officer, retail theft. Let me just say this last part. I've been going on and on, but I got to say it. Wisconsin Department of Corrections records reportedly showed that Ruiz was released extended supervision on May the 12th, 2026, approximately 10 weeks before the shooting. He's reportedly listed as a obscured from community service when he died. At the time of his death, he was on supervised release, a career thug. Let's get to the press conference real quick, and then we're going to show the shooting. I want to put this in perspective. Now, I saw reports that his family wasn't even involved in his life. He was homeless during this period of time, committing crimes every single year. And this is what they do in the press conference with Milk Dud Crump in the background. Roll the clip.
He did not deserve to be taken out like that. They took my baby from me.
Your baby.
I never thought I would have to bury my baby before you buried me. And I would never.
You didn't?
Yeah.
Time out. I'm not trying to be sensitive, but y'all need to stop lying on these kids. You didn't think that he'd be buried before you? Strangulation, resisting arrest, police officers, felony arrest for almost 20 years straight? And you couldn't fathom that he may be killed in these streets. Okay, roll the clip.
Justice for Corey.
Here you go.
Justice for Corey.
Justice for Corey.
Justice for Corey.
Justice for Corey. He tried to do his best for me and his family.
I just wish it had been a different way.
Me too.
I would just wish, like, what if the police never been called? What if they just let him go? What if they de-escalated the situation?
Wow.
You can't sugarcoat it. You can't put a Band-Aid on it.
If this was your brother, if this was your father, if this was your son, what would justice look like to you? Well, that's exactly what we want. The same justice, equal justice, nothing more, nothing less. Madison, Wisconsin, the world is watching to see if Corey Ruiz can get justice in 2026.
Justice in 2026 would have been him being in prison already. He should have been in there for a long time, because when he's not in there, he committing crimes, acting a fool. That's justice. What about justice for his victims that he got on his list right here? Okay, let's go back. Let's in the post-production, y'all, we're gonna play my analysis of the shooting first, and then we're gonna get to this part after the analysis of the shooting. But while we're here on the live stream, let's get to the shooting, and then we'll jump over to that. All right, let's get to the shooting here, because I have my opinions about this shooting. It's not from this angle as clean as I would like to be able to give a definitive statement of justification. But when I look at the totality of circumstances and I look at the law that's applicable in this situation, it appears that they used the use of force continuum to the T. They used hand control. They tried to use a taser. The taser deployed didn't work. He produced a knife, and then they used deadly force. So the force continuum that they used, according to what we can see, was textbook. And then I want people to understand this. You may not like the reality of this, then vote to change the law. But the reality is, if a person produced a deadly weapon and any officer that's engaged with him feel that there's threat of serious bodily injury or death, then they can utilize deadly force against him. Now, I want people to understand deadly force utilization and death are two different things that are unrelated, and they really do not matter. So whether a person die does not mean that the officer is justified or not. Because an officer can shoot somebody justifiably and they can live or die, and none of that matters when you look at justification. They can unjustly shoot somebody and they can live or die, and none of that matters because they were unjust when they shot the person. Based on the preliminary evidence that I'm looking at and I'm watching with my own eyes, I believe at this point, given the fact that he produced a knife after all of this, that the shooting was justified. Roll the clip. Pause. So as you see, they're fighting this guy. The camera shows up after they have already been fighting with him. He's clearly incredibly strong because 5 officers can't even get him on the ground. Some of them on their knees. He's still standing up and doing all this. They deploy the taser. It does not appear that the taser was as effective as it should have been. And then you watch the video here, you're going to see them remove the knife and throw it off to the side because he clearly had a knife in his hand, as you can see the direction and where they pulled it from and the fact that the officer had been yelling knife, knife, knife before the shooting even happened. Roll the clip. Watch this. Threw the knife back there. From his hands. Not his waistband. From his hands. Now, I don't know why people don't say, why did he not do that? Why is he fighting the cops for the 400th time? No accountability. Why didn't the cops de-escalate? Why did your daddy out here committing crimes and fighting cops with a knife in his hand trying to stab people? Now, instead of rational human beings, the melanated Negro, I'm talking about the dummies. Yeah, I always got to preface this because people are like, yeah, black people. I'm not talking about the smart ones like me and others. I'm talking about these idiots. At a press conference, look at the uncivilized behavior. The cop is trying to give a press conference, and this is what they do. Roll it.
Trust in the city right now did not start.
Well, we can shut this down. You can stop talking because we don't want to hear anything you've been saying. You're going to say the same thing you all say every time a black body gets shot down in this city. This is a corrupt city. That's right. Have no fear. The anti-Zionist is here. You understand me?
Time out, but how did the Jews get involved in this? How is the Jew, the anti-Zionist, what does that have to do with this brother getting killed by police after life of crime, violent crimes? All right, keep it going.
You won't be able to talk today because I'm going to keep talking because I was born to talk my talk and walk my walk too. I told these young people back here on our way here that we have the power, not that badge, not that weapon. We have the power. The city of Madison is corrupt. From the DA to the what's the name of this? The Department of Independent Monitoring. We don't want any of that talk. You've given us this speech with you'll deliver justice. Oh, we've seen the cameras. We've seen. It was a knife in this young man's hand. We don't want to hear that today. We didn't want to hear it when they put their neck on George Floyd's neck. We don't their foot on George Floyd's neck, and we don't want to hear it today. What do you have to say about that? No. Oh, you don't get to talk, I said. Right. Go ahead. Enough is enough.
I'll step aside.
That's right. Give me this microphone then. Excuse me. That's right. My name is Tom.
Look at these white people looking at this nut. What are you doing? Now, I think, see, people get mad at Brandon and go, you always talk about black people. Well, all more black people call this brother out then. Why do I got to be the only one called? This is ridiculous what he doing. It's ridiculous. It's funny that they are activists after you get killed. But when you terrorize in the community, your own people, these ain't no white victims here. I can put my career on it, no white victims. When you terrorize your own people, they ain't got nothing to say. Until you get killed, and then they want to be activists and think they cared about you. Roll the clip.
I represent APTAP, all power to all people, zero power to Zionists, zero power to capitalists, zero power to colonialism. What you are doing right now in this city is continuing the disgusting nature of colonialism. Come up here, this is our press conference, and I put my lips all over this microphone. Power to the people, no power to Zionists. That's right. Anybody got anything they want to say? Let us know. You got some questions y'all want to ask? Ask us some questions. We're taking questions. Anybody.
I didn't think so. Turn up your Zionist noses, because your entire communications and media department is all about Zionism and colonialism. We will not stand. I am a part of the class that has been oppressed and struggled my entire life. My grandmother struggled. My mother struggled. Their grandmother struggled. Those people struggled. We go back far enough and we can see that there was a white European that colonized us, that stole land, that committed genocide right here on America. And you guys want to host your bourgeoisie revolution. You guys want to run your mouths about how disgusting socialism is. You haven't seen socialism, okay? You see my hand right here? This is how this is fragmentation. All of these struggles, Palestine, Congo, America, Sudan,
All right,
Venezuela.
He didn't forgot about his boy down there in the corner that got killed by the police. He talking about Zionists. And then if that one ignorant Negro wasn't enough, here's his kinfolk. Roll the clip.
So we gotta have a conversation. We don't have to monopolize to get our points.
This microphone ain't even on. Ain't that?
And what we have already been through. There is no difference. This is the clown show.
Let him finish so that we can actually hear the
And now you're yelling at a black woman continuing to discuss the I don't care.
No, you don't. You don't get to walk up on me, brother. You don't get. It don't matter. You don't get to. You don't get. I ain't no shaking no hands with no imperialists. Okay. I don't do that. Okay, you can. You're in my space right now too. Now I'm gonna back up right here, and if you keep walking up on me, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about.
You want him to calm down.
This ain't your show, brother.
We're tired. I'm tired too.
Hey, time out. This is the epitome of the failures. You got a gay dude over here without a daddy in his life, just soft as a marshmallow in a wet toilet paper, arguing with another young lady who's silly, and this other dude talking about Zionist. There is no black people that I see in this thing, in my opinion, that's like representing properly. The one down there at the bottom been committing crimes his whole life they didn't care about till he died at the hands of police, and then he's ignorant when taking over the press conference. Y'all just make all black people look bad, even though all black people ain't stupid like this, but y'all making us look bad. Roll the clip.
We gonna have a conversation, or you gonna hear what they got going on and how they got it going on. This is a new show, and we ain't running it like that. Let the police chief finish saying what he got to say, so we can get our information that we need, and we can run with it.
So here's the thing.
But this
here's the thing. Look, this is not your show. Here's the thing. We all witnessed on social media last night a human being take the life of another human being.
Because I'm like that.
No, you're not.
I'm like that.
Because if you was, you'd have did
I'm
something.
like that.
Do it. You talk. Show me how like that you are then.
Can media please continue on with what you got to say, and please respond to any questions that is asked when you open the floor.
Clearly, trust is not. So in accordance. In accordance, I will.
Say you gonna let him finish? Let him finish.
My friend, I will take every question you have.
This is what's wrong with white people. Let me say this: y'all too nice. Y'all too nice. Y'all just kissing these. At what point y'all gonna grow a pair and say you're not finna interrupt this press conference because you black and you think you got a grievance? You finna go to jail. This is disorderly conduct. You're disrupting all of this press conference. This is a place where people can come together and they have a right to hear what the chief has to say. You can't come and just disrupt that. Let me move on. I swear, if it wasn't a black person in their grievances, you go to jail doing that. You go to your local press conference and do what he just did. They're gonna ask you to leave, and if you don't, you're going to jail. But they're afraid of these black people because they won't stand up. When Benjamin Crump come into town, everybody tuck their tail between their legs and go hiding. At some point, white people, y'all got to say, enough is enough, man. We didn't do nothing wrong. Enough is enough. I'm tired of you Negroes blaming us for all y'all woes. At some point, y'all gonna have to stand up and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. We ain't had nothing to do with this. You don't get to cry because your great-grandma was a slave. Great-great-grandma was a slave. You don't get to come here and none of us were slaves, and we don't know no slaves. All right, come on with the clip. Now, this is another story. All right, I'm done with that one. Did I do a good evaluation of the shooting? I think I articulated the use of force and everything else. I mean, maybe I should have spent a little more time on it. We'll follow up a little later when we have more information, but that's all we got. We don't have any other videos. We don't have any body-worn cameras. The reason that they didn't have body-worn cameras because they couldn't afford it, according to the police department, and they gave the tactical team the body-worn cameras. They did have MV cameras or VR cameras or whatever you call it, MVR, which is the dash cameras in the police cars. All right, let's get to the last story today. And that's this woman getting killed by her husband after doing a TikTok trend. Let me say this, please don't judge me. I'm just giving my own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. When I first saw this, I said, I don't know if I feel sorry for her. I know this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. I don't know if I feel sorry for her. At what point do some of y'all clout-chasing people either care about your life more than you do virality? And I'm not letting him off the hook. He probably burning in hell right now. But at what point do you say to yourself, it's not a necessity to chase clout enough to end up getting myself in this situation? If you thought that man was so dangerous, which he clearly was, why is it important for you to go viral and be on the internet doing this? You put your life in danger and your kids' life in danger by mocking a lunatic. You invoked this lunatic to want to do this. And let me say this. I don't know this woman. She may have been a good woman. I don't think so. And I say good meaning that, why are you going to have a man like this around your kids? This is the part that nobody hold people accountable. I'm going to get to him in a minute because he a dirtbag. And he deserved to be put away for a long time if he did what he was accused of doing with that girl and then now killing this woman. You don't kill people because you don't like what they say about you online. So I'm going to get to him in a minute. But allegedly, or from what I've heard, that this man wasn't even her kid's daddy. Why you got this man around your children that's this much of a lunatic and a psychopath? At some point, accountability has to be held. And if I had to teach a lesson out of this, women, stop messing with these crazy men. And then if he crazy, don't taunt him. And I don't know what you think a restraining order is going to do for you. If you're taunting this guy, if he's really as crazy as you say, don't get online and say, look at me, I'm finna expose him. All right, I got that out. Delete this from your memory. It's just my intrusive thoughts. Play the clip.
Information about the devastating murder of an Owasso mom.
That's right. Police sharing details into the case and what led up to the tragic crime. News 4's Paisley Porter joins us now to tell us about Sarah Gilson. Paisley, this is devastating.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a really tragic story. Loved ones say that Sarah Gilson was an amazing daughter, friend, and above all else, an incredible mom, fiercely devoted to giving her two young kids the best life possible.
43-year-old Sarah Gilson shared her life through social media influencing, connecting with her over 30,000 followers by sharing her latest shopping finds and participating in fun trends. This all came to an end Thursday when she tragically lost her life at the hands of her husband, Jeremiah Sean Duffy. Police say Gilson was shot in her Owasso home around 11 p.m. after a domestic violence call in which dispatchers heard a woman screaming, followed by what sounded to be a gunshot. This coming just weeks after Gilson filed for an emergency protective order against Duffy due to accusations of child molestation involving one of the girls on the traveling club basketball team he coached. On July 11th, Gilson participated in a TikTok trend, pretending to be in a documentary, publicly accusing Duffy of being a pedophile. Bringing us to Thursday night when Duffy broke the protective order, shooting Gilson and then turning the gun on himself. Gilson's son calling 911 from a neighbor's home, telling dispatchers that his stepfather had shot his mom.
Police arrived to the scene shortly after beginning the investigation into what they're saying is now a murder-suicide Gilson's friends have started a GoFundMe in her honor to help support her 2 young children, saying that, quote, no amount of money can ever replace Sarah or heal the pain of this tragedy, but together we can honor her memory by helping care for the 2 people she loved the most.
And maybe it's too soon, but I wish I can give some advice to people real quick. As a former police officer, a restraining order means nothing. I want you to understand. It's a documented piece of paper. The police cannot help. It's not a force field. They cannot help you. They can only document that somebody violated after they violated. Please, if you're in an abusive relationship, seek help. There's domestic violence hotlines. There's shelters. Take this stuff seriously. The first thing you do is don't bring lunatics around your children. And if you somehow get involved in a situation like this, please call somebody to help you. There's somebody in your family, somebody you know, that you just have to be brave and think about your children and say, I got to get out of this situation. And it'll be all right. Trust the Lord. Go to a shelter. Call somebody. Because when you don't do that, you end up prolonging and exacerbating this conflict. And a lot of the times that I've been in domestic or I've seen domestic violence situations where people have either died or been seriously injured, there is this consistency in going back and forward with this lunatic that have shown you that he's an abusive, evil person. And then there has also been consistency, and there's people that have been reaching out and trying to help, and the person is not family member. That person is just avoiding it. I'd say if it's just you and you don't care about your life, if you got kids, think about your children. And secondly, don't do this. Don't do this. When you got a guy who's crazy and you know he's crazy, he didn't just turn crazy after this video. He's a lunatic. He's abusing 16-year-old girls allegedly. And you know he's a lunatic. He has nothing to lose now because when you divorce him, he's going to lose it all. And once he get caught for molesting his girl, then and you taunt him by making this video. I just think you should avoid doing this, y'all. Roll the clip. All right, I know I'm gonna lose a lot of people on this one, but I just had to tell my truth. I just don't like it. When I first saw it, I told my wife, I said, why did she do that? Why she mock the man? You know, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna shut up. When you're talking about like for men, and I'm talking about sane men. I'm not even talking about the crazy ones. This is very hard on men when you got to go through divorce or court or stuff like this. The sane ones. And it creates a lot of emotions on the inside of people. And you feel a certain way about the way, especially men are treated in the court system. And I think a lot of times women have the benefit in these circumstances, and so they feel empowered to mock men. And mock them, and because they know they're gonna win. They're gonna win in the court. They're gonna win with the kids. They're gonna get as much support as they want, and they can lie, do whatever they want. And I'm not speaking on my own spirit. I'm talking about somebody else. And they're gonna lie. They can do whatever they want, and these things happen, and that's what drives these men crazy. And then you got a man who's a nut, and you're mocking him in a divorce situation. And it was unnecessary, I think. Restraining orders are not real. Like, it's just a documentation. Please, women, if you're going to get the restraining order against a man, please make sure you have a firearm and you're taking these things seriously. I have seen so many cases like this go south and a woman gets a restraining order. And I used to tell women all the time, because it was mostly women, I tell them all the time, do you have a gun? If you think you put in this document that he's crazy, he's choked you before, he did all this. He sounds like a lunatic. Do you have a gun? Do you have a knife? Do you have a plan? Because if he's as crazy as you saying he is, we're not parked outside of your house. And if he come here, you need to have a plan, because we may be 2 or 3 minutes away from here, or we may be even 15 minutes away. So have a plan. Do not take this for granted. I swear, God is my witness. I used to tell every woman in domestic violence, and they go, well, I don't have nothing. Get a knife. You need to have something to protect yourself, because we cannot help you. We may not be nowhere to be found when this dude come running back at your house. So make sure you have a plan of action. Have the expectation that he's going to come back and violate this order, because he's going to be pissed that you did this to him. So have a plan of action. Get you a gun. Get you a knife. You know, have 911 ready. If he come back, call us immediately. But don't be running around mocking the guy and acting like nothing is going to happen, because he did exactly what I always feared that these men would do to these women, is that they'll violate that order, and she was not ready, and she was taking it for granted, and the guy ended up killing her, and now it's a tragedy. All right, and let me say this. I'm not saying it's her fault that he did this. What I'm saying is her actions clearly was a contributing factor to him deciding to lose it all. By him, because he didn't do this before she put him out on TikTok to the world that he was a pedophile. And he deserved everything that's coming to him in the afterlife, that he would have the nerve to abuse a young girl, allegedly, and then go and kill somebody because he's mad at his own negative decisions. All right. I love you guys. We'll do a quick 10-minute post-show clarity for the members. We out of here.